I used to think forgiveness was about letting bygones be bygones and letting things go and going back to how things used to be. I've learned now that it's more so doing what I need to do to set myself free from living in the past and being stuck in a situation that I didn't cause myself. Like, why should I be the one to pay the price for something you did? Or why should I suffer the consequences of your actions? Literally. Like, why should I continue to suffer? I have these 3, 4 tips that I think will change your life. So first thing is, realize that you're not holding on to the person, you're holding on to the story. Now this one's deep. I actually learned it by watching Linka Speaks. So Linka Speaks has had this video about letting go, and I had to actually replay it like 50 times before I finally let go of my situations and pray on it and many other things that I'm going to explain in this video. But I had to accept that I'm holding on to a narrative and not the person. I thought that me holding on to this thing that had happened, holding on to this person and not forgiving them meant that I've got them by the neck and I've got them pinned up against the wall by the collar, protecting myself. But I soon realised that was not it. Really and truly, I'm holding on to the narrative, to the story. Let me explain. So, stories. We've got a beginning, a middle, and an end. I was hoping, not even hoping, but I'd say subconsciously expecting some kind of day where justice is served. I heard this quote while I was healing from my situation that stated, forgiveness is accepting that you cannot go back and rewrite history and change that situation or change that person or change the outcome. And then I realized like I was fighting a never ending battle. I was fighting things I could not control. I cannot control what this person has done to me, what this person does, this person's character, whatever it may be. I can't control how this person moves, but I can control myself and my reaction and create peace for myself in whatever way that may look. So, point is, where normally I would explain or I would sit there and hope that one day things would resolve, what I'm trying to say, guys, is it's accepting that there is not going to be another ending to what's happened, and it's happened for a reason, and you need to take the lesson in it. For me personally, I've learned that every time I'm hurt by a person or a certain situation, and like at the end of the day, pain is there for a purpose. And sometimes if someone hurts you, it's Allah trying to get you to take a lesson, to pick up a new skill, to grow resilient. It's to give you perspective that you'll pass on to your children, to your grandchildren, to the world, for your bigger purpose, whatever that may look like. And I think I reached a point where I was like, if I'm being continually harmed by whatever situation, there must be a lesson, there must be wisdom in this. It's actually no longer personal. Like, once I've taken the lesson, I'm done waiting for a different narrative. Like, my purpose is bigger than this person. Clearly, I'm being put in this situation to take a lesson. And I feel like as an empath, as a sensitive girly, like there is so much wisdom and knowledge that I want to share. And I feel like if I hadn't gone through as much as I did for as long as I did, then I wouldn't be sat here with you guys right now. Because I wouldn't have picked up on the skills that I have. I wouldn't be as hypersensitive as I am. I'm resilient as I am. I wouldn't be as hypervigilant as I am. So I'm going to go on to step 2. You need to realize you have more control than you think. You have more control than you think. If you sit around and let life happen to you, you'll always feel like a victim of your circumstances. However, when people harm you and you see it as, okay, I'm feeling pain. Pain is a signal. I'm too attached. I need to detach, which if you haven't seen my video on detachment and like being sensitive, go and check out my video. It's You're Not Too Sensitive, You Are Too Attached. Go and watch my video on being attached to learn how to detach. But if you feel pain and you take it as a signal and you first process the feelings, okay, now detach from that person. And I don't mean physically detach and cut people off like crazy. I mean, you need to empty your heart of that person so it's not hurting you too deeply. Obviously, guys, there are situations where you have to speak up and defend yourself. I'm not saying become a doormat, but I'm saying use your pain for a purpose. Detach and empty your heart of that person and put Allah there instead. The next stage would be to regain back control. So get back on the bandwagon, get back in your lane and keep going. And so basically the question would be, what was that situation meant to teach me? Whatever that lesson is or whatever the answer to that question is, apply it to yourself. That's kind of how I've been moving in life, guys. Anytime something happens, I'm like, what is that trying to teach me? Once I have the lesson and what it's trying to teach me and I've applied it, it is done. And then that, for me, I've given myself closure. yes, you hurt me. Yes, you had that potential. So I need to empty my heart of you. And that means I need to move accordingly. That doesn't mean I need to cut you off, but that might mean adjusting distance. That might mean limiting conversation. That might look like learning to say no. It looks different to different people. Like, it depends on the situation. You'll know what you need to do. And if you don't, then we'll talk about setting boundaries in a separate video. Step 5 is giving myself closure. And that looks different to different people. You have to give yourself closure, reclaim the narrative, get rid of that closure chapter. Wanting that closure is you holding on to the narrative. You think it needs to be like start, middle, and end. It actually does not. Surprise, it can be start, middle, there's a problem, and there is no reconciliation. And that is the crappy part about life. You need to give yourself that. And sometimes it is as deep as, what was this pain trying to teach me? And applying that lesson and then moving accordingly and giving yourself that closure by praying on it. I think this actually perfectly brings us on to the third or fourth point, I'm not sure. How can we get that closure? From people that are like, closure, like, how would I get closure? I've been hurt, now what? Let me explain. Allah's got 99 names. And guys, this has helped me so much. So Allah's given you 99 names to call him upon. Give justice back to Allah. So Allah is the disposer of affairs. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah is the most just. He is the perfect judge. He is the avenger. He will avenge you. He is the perfect judge. Nobody else. He is. And every injustice is seen by him, and you should find peace in that. You should find peace in the fact that regardless, the day of judgment is coming, and every injustice is seen by Allah. So trust him. He'll dispose of it. I think my biggest advice would be call upon Allah's names and then genuinely forgive the person. What I tend to do is sit on the prayer mat, and when I reach a certain point, I'm like, Ya Allah, it's too much. I talk to Allah like he's my friend, and I'm like, it's too much. There's this situation that's happened. This person's causing me so much pain. This situation at work is stressing me out. This exam is stressing me out. Whatever it is, you know? And then I'll say, Ya Allah, all of this stress, I'm too weak to carry. I'm only human. Ya Allah, you are disposer of affairs. I trust you. I hand it to you. And I leave it in sujood, in my prayer, to the one I trust the most. And that is the biggest tip I could give you for forgiveness. You don't need to forgive because they deserve it. You need to forgive because your heart deserves peace. Just remember that. Forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. Forgiveness is you letting go of the narrative and you letting go of the hope that one day this person is going to change. Forgiveness is accepting what is and to stop living your life hoping and living in the future, wishing that one day things will look a certain way. Forgiveness is letting go of this idea that your day of justice is coming. And I don't mean justice as a revenge, I mean justice as in a day where a certain person takes accountability, or a day where you'll get that apology. You need to give yourself closure. And one of the biggest things I've learned the hard way is closure does not come when people decide that they finally want to apologize, or when people decide that they finally want peace, or when people decide that they're going to own what they've done. Closure actually comes from you, and it's a decision. Every time something happens, there's like a 5 to 10 second window where you decide that you're going to leave this to Allah and let go and not take it to heart, or you're going to follow your heart and be led by your feelings. And sometimes, as humans, it's natural. You will be led by your heart and by your feelings, but that is meant to teach you something. There's wisdom in that. And once you've taken the lesson, you've learned what you've needed to learn. Unfortunately, the reality is it's your responsibility to heal yourself, because nobody's going to save you. It's sad to have learned that on your own, but that is the reality of life. And like I said in my first video, I want this channel to be something that I would have benefited from. To conclude, so I'd like you to end this video on this. Stop waiting for an apology. Stop waiting for that explanation. Stop waiting for the ending that you imagined. Forgiveness isn't setting them free, it's setting yourself free. And sometimes the greatest act of healing is placing your trust in Allah and knowing that no injustice or pain goes unseen or unrewarded. So trust in Him and let it go. Thanks for watching. This is one of the videos, I am someone who really struggles to forgive. I'm someone who you could call an ex-grudge holder. Okay, so this was for me, this was one of those videos where I really needed to let it all out. I really hope this benefits you as much as it's benefited me. This is 26 years in the making, guys. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, show support, and yeah, love ya. Bye.